In Uganda's remote northeast, the Karamoja live a pastoral and semi-nomadic lifestyle. In this environment, children play a vital role in the family's daily survival. Boys graze the cattle, often walking for days in search of green pastures, while girls stay closer to home and carry out the essential chores. In Karamoja, it's the number of cattle you own that determine your wealth. And just like money, people will fight for more.
The attitude of the Karamoja is that a child must grow in a traditional manner. That is, a boy must grow as a boy who is ready to defend the society and the animals against the enemies. And if possible, this boy should be able to bring in more cattle through raiding from the hostile societies.
This lifestyle is in itself a challenge to formal education, but in Karamoja, history also plays its role. 65 years ago, education was rejected outright.
The Karamoja community did not really welcome the idea of education because they felt that education was taking their children away from their normal life of looking after cows and so on. Now, they resisted this so much that they started associating a pen, which is the instrument of education, with the colonial rule.
Because when the colonialists came, when they were recruiting people for the Second World War, they used the pen to write their names, and some of them who went to fight never came back.
So they hated this so much that they even killed some chiefs in the resistance to formal education. So in that process, they symbolically said that, no, let us curse this pen here. In their ceremony, they buried a pen so that it goes away from us. Anybody who goes by the pen should die.
50 years later, the Karamoja realized that their lack of education was holding the region back. So in 1995, tribal elders decided to unearth the pen and promote education.
The communities recommended that we need a kind of education which is flexible, which can allow our children to attend to the classes, and after the classes, they can also carry out with the domestic chores at home.
So that was the beginning of a community-based program called Alternative Basic Education for Karamoja, ABEC.
It's early morning in Nachele, Moroto district, and 12-year-old Lokong Moses is busy with his home chores. Lokong lives in this village, known as a Manyata in Karamoja, with his mother, father, 4 brothers and 1 sister. Formal education has never been a part of family life. But all this changed 6 months ago, when he first attended the community's ABEC class. Now Lokong's a regular, and his first stop on the way to class is the Manyata's central store, where the children pick up their learning materials. Funds for ABEC come from the national government, with support from development partners. The curriculum was designed with local community participation and includes subjects relevant to a pastoral life, such as crop production and livestock education. Even basic literacy and numeracy are taught within the context of pastoral life.
Nabo, Ni, Na, Lu.
Apnarana we bazara begimia back. Ya Allah ja dari pija baro kainati garagisha malim tu zomonin karage bako ini nei karanga ala tain kizoma ja kara girgirja tamaru malim tu zomonin kara doanya kuta ja da tamaru tu
Lokong's mother, Sagal, has also embraced ABEC and encourages Lokong to attend on a regular basis.
Alakara no way. Alakara toma bekatamar. Karaing is that anyu. I kidiomo. Tanyu te moinga akroid na jokon. Alotoma I kidiom. Alakar kidanga bek. Taralor dane bunena tabal tonyo minita to diom skula ala ngangola bek. Katalakar tu no way. Angar tolo to idu ada dia boko ngedeo kigretero be joko kigrete kona kigra kide jok. Tanyinte bitolo ruara malim ngagro na ruaro. To bupi yoda.
And Sagal is already seeing the benefits of Lokong's education within her daily life.
Aripuchango anisa itamariongo. Taripikana kara itena. Abuku na kare buangar to go oyalda gitar. E pero ni dia dio munise kro. Tanya na yata mare ke minya dio tamu sana ke tamaki wadio.
Nye bunya kitodi kina yonga nyukutana bala. Dadang.
Lokong's teacher, Zachary Lomoko, is one of a number of dedicated ABEC facilitators who joined the program at its inception in 1998. Before he begins his morning lesson, he's already presented the news on Karamoja FM.
Ngulu amroto kape kan kapriprit ikedike kintong itonga luta ponera akiria makini ka ekepukan.
After reading the headlines, he starts his 2-hour trek to the learning center at Nachele.
I commit myself that at least I should walk there and proclaim this education to our people. That is our people in the villages in Karamoja region. Yeah, that is my own commitment that though I don't have any picky, any bicycle, any vehicle that can drop me there, I make sure that I reach and proclaim this education to our people in Karamoja.
Despite the commitment of instructors such as Zachary, in a society where 80% of its population is illiterate, finding suitably qualified facilitators for ABEC has been a challenge.
We started, first of all, with a demand to have secondary education leavers, but we couldn't realize this in the Manyatas. So we lowered the standard to primary 7 standard. These are boys and girls who left school at the age of about 13, 14.
Zachary's dedication has paid off. His position as an ABEC facilitator has played a key role in improving his own education and professional development.
I was lacking behind with education also. When I used to get this small amount of mine, my own salaries that I used to get from this program of ABEC, it helped me that I also used myself in a talented way that I should keep some small cash that can at least, that can raise me from my education. I finished my O-level. I went for my own courses. After I finished successfully, I went with the public administration management, that is through Makiri University, that is in 2004. Then I also went and did conflict and negotiation management.
And Zachary may soon be able to further his development. A new ABEC instructors training course is being planned.
A 2-year distance program has been designed and being finalized by Kiambogo University. And we hope that it's going to start by 2008. But what has been going on is what we call an induction training. Whenever they are being introduced to another module, then we have an induction for a period of 2 weeks. They are inducted into the new material, then they go and teach.
For Zachary, the most important aspect of ABEC is the benefit that it brings to the children.
ABEC is doing something in Karamoja, that at least these children have at least grown up with some knowledge. They found themselves on how to count their own cows. So ABEC really taught the community a very real lifestyle that was wanted at least to develop Karamoja region.
And Lokong now has his own goals and vision for his future.
So that Lokong is going to make his own life of educating himself and develop at least his family and at least the relatives and Karamoja at large.
I see ABEC as a gateway to achieving universal primary education, especially when you look at the Karamoja context, where we are talking about the children from the pastoral communities. This is because up to now, even with all this ongoing sensitization, not all children have gone into the formal school. So we are still using the ABEC program together with the district local governments, encouraging the community. Those who are not in ABEC, let them first get there.
Since our ultimate aim of ABEC was to change the attitude of the Karamoja positively towards education and therefore have more children in the formal school, we think there is an achievement in that in those parishes where we had a low enrollment, many children have joined the formal education. And I think that is our greatest achievement.
For many Karamojong children, ABEC is their first introduction to education. It's designed to engage and encourage parents to send their children into formal primary schools. And for Lokong and the children of Nachele, there are positive signs ahead. At Naitakwai Primary School, 5 kilometers from Nachele, 70% of the children are former ABEC pupils. Head teacher Rose Ilukol has seen this number increase steadily each year.
5 years ago, in 2001, there were 88. As time has gone on, they are increasing slowly by slowly. This year, this is what is in place, 226. I feel happy as well because having few children is not pleasing. When you have many of them, you're also happy that you're adding people.
These are encouraging trends, as the move from ABEC to primary school is dependent on the attitude and decision of the parents.
A parent can get up and go to the learning center and tell a facilitator, this child, I want this child to be in the center up to the end of the year. Next year, the child should go to the what? To the formal school. So that linkage has been also created in the community.
For the children who make the move, a school interview is carried out to assess which year they should enter into. However, plans are now in place to establish an entry system relating to ABEC attendance.
By next year, we will have a clear document because the Ministry of Education, together with the National Curriculum Development Center, have been looking at these materials and trying to come up with the exact equivalence. If it is 1 year, is it P3? And then if it is 3 years, P5, such that that is what should now be used to support the transition. So the issue of transition is something that is being worked on together with the national government and the local district governments.
The children who make the transition face a range of challenges once they are at school.
They are going to an institution with a routine, with a lot of school rules, demand for uniform, which they didn't have. When they come to school, they find the teaching in English. And yet in the ABEC, they are taught in Karamoja.
I am from Uganda. I am from Uganda. Everybody?
I am from Uganda.
And somebody who comes from Uganda is called?
Ugandans.
When they are transferred from the centers to schools, you find that most of them know how to read and write. Although they don't know English, they know how to read their names, how to write their names. And somebody who comes from Egypt is called?
Egyptian.
Good. You find they are better than those other children because they have already known some skills of some words, how the words are arranged.
The increased enrollment has also helped the school access additional resources.
We had a few teachers, but when the enrollment became high, the teachers were also transferred. Buildings are also brought because of higher enrollment. Even the UP, Universal Primary Education, money has been increased somehow. We also have few instructional materials like books, just because we can now access some money. Earlier on, there was nothing.
These additional resources are vital for schools to create an environment where children can learn and others can be encouraged to attend.
And I'm pleased that there is some improvement according to the past years well, a few families only could take their children to school, those ones who saw the value of education. But now everybody is interested in taking the children to school. That is the end of the lesson. The rest of the work you will bring and I mark from the staff room. Is that clear? Yes. And we shall continue tomorrow. Thank you.
One role model for all Karamojong children is former Naitakwai pupil Mark Lolly. 18-year-old Mark is the first ABEC pupil to join secondary school and reach Senior 5 level, the equivalent of lower 6th.
Before ABEC, actually I was a shepherd. That was my daily work. As a young person, always in Karamoja, your work is to look after animals, cows, goats. That was my life. The idea of going to school was really, it was not allowed in my place. If you go to school, yeah, it's like an outcast, somebody who has run away from the society. We feared such things. We never wanted that life.
But a chance encounter with ABEC soon changed Mark's opinion.
In the morning, when I just went out of the village, I had a chance to get the people under the tree. They were learning. Teacher told me, you come and write your name. I was given a slate. I practiced for only 2 days. I knew how to write my name. That's the first thing which made me to be at school.
It was this move into education that led Mark away from the dangers of the cattle raiding lifestyle.
You know, in Karamoja, as you grew up, the first thing to begin with to practice how to handle a gun. But I realized the killing it in Karamoja, it was that useless. I found that school makes a person change their mind, that human life is worth something.
Mark is now a student at St Paul's College in Mbale, a district bordering the Karamoja region. He's excelled in the sciences and wants to work as a doctor in his home region after he finishes studying.
Elements of Group 2 are similar in their properties, although beryllium shows a significant difference in its properties from the rest of the group members. The way I look at Mark, he falls in that group of Karamojong who want to forget of their past. Students who want to bring a change to their region. And sometimes I wish that if maybe we could have around maybe 1,000 of such students planted in their region, they would cause a very big change. That's one thing I see. Mark really counts.
And if the parents are telling me, those ones who used to hate me are telling me, after a year, you just go to school, next time you have to come and become an MP, member of parliament. So I do tell the parents, I do influence them to take their children to school.
We have 2.87, 2.89, 2.90.
My dreams in the future, at least to make sure that I appreciate what education has given to me as far as Karamoja is concerned. If I can also build a school, just to appreciate that I went to school because of anything it is good. I think I also put a school.
Despite the success of pupils like Mark and the increasing influence of the ABEC program, there's still a long way to go in the development of education in Karamoja.
We have the lowest enrollment, we have the lowest literacy rate, we have the lowest indicative figures in development. So the region is still lying very low.
We've been trying to advocate for the needs of Karamoja through all of the different tools available to the development and the humanitarian community, through emergency appeals, through development planning frameworks, 5-year cycles, 1-year cycles. Through some of those efforts and through launching of education conferences in the districts, launching go to school, stay in school, back to school campaigns through the districts, we've had very positive involvement from the national authorities and the national media, and through that have managed to set up a national task force within the Ministry of Education and Sports focused on education in Karamoja.
One initiative that UNICEF has helped launch is the Girls' Education Movement, designed to use the power of peer influence to encourage girls and boys into and back to school.
The Girls' Education Movement links up with the Girls' Education Initiative, which is a global UN initiative launched by Kofi Annan in Senegal in 2001. The education movement is basically the children's own peer support and advocacy movement, and in fact the girls' own movement. But there are many boys who join this movement in support, which is a fabulous development.
Aracha katama ke chebo ko yede ay pota pan lo school ko be ko na pan tore ni ko da ko yede ay to bongo lo school rada da ya ke chebo ko yede ay ko na garga ko na ga bodu da lo school ka pay.
It's a way for female children to express out their needs, their desires about having access to education.
I know way ke aka yo lo school pederia akiviom ke ngara ki ekwidikal to dukudang tata changwen ga to yo school dang.
We have 1,200 cases that we've been able to quantify so far across the whole of northern Uganda, where the girls' education movement has actually been the critical factor for that family or for that child to attend. I think that's a gross underestimation. I think we are still struggling with the reporting mechanisms to give us a full picture of how successful the movement's been, but we're absolutely convinced that it's one of the critical issues fostering the debate in the communities and in the families.
At Nadongyet Primary School, the children are performing a play highlighting the unique challenges to education that they face. One pupil who, against all the odds, has made it back to school is 19-year-old Betty Nakut. After being forced into marriage 5 years ago, Betty was withdrawn from school. Her husband was then killed in a cattle raid, and shortly after, Betty gave birth.
Hello, P3.
Hello, teacher.
What is the day today?
1st October
2007.
2007.
Good. Sit down, Betty.
I adore ko di laj ya tana da ko na mo na re nyi mo no to ma wo no daga ngak to na burta ru to da ka nyi tara ani an tara ru da wo no jangal to na pa kana ta ki do night do na ko night nyi night ya be ai night da marbe a koro to kana abu a korero no na lo na wo kre ngak to na burama yam no to ngai binete noy de potonok no ding borro ko parta na kan ko tera ki bin ta madan mi ngana do ya ka lo school tana da ko kun.
Betty came back to school because she knew that when she goes to school she's going to study subjects that are going to help her in her life, whether she will continue up to university or she will remain in O-level or P7. But the fact remains that the knowledge she is already acquiring is going to help her. It is knowing mathematics. It is going to help Betty in buying and selling whichever community she has it. Then also she's able to communicate using English also. At least she's coming a bit of, knowing a bit of English. With that English, if she concentrates, she'll be able to read and see the signposts when she's going somewhere, and also communicate to the rest of the people.
Despite being laughed at by other girls her age and being under pressure to marry again, Betty's determined to carry on.
Epanene terbang kai tu te kya kai kilene nikan. Icham to ke sha ya krom lakini abala ke chimia kide mona odio my school. Ana cha ya karna ite yo ngaren bas. O sham no dinait kor patana te kroma. Acham da nga kidio mana no ruera madam ne atata mengode.
When people like Betty who are dropped out of school come back to school, it encourages the rest of the children also to come back to school, and the big ones even, like Betty.
People like Betty are helping to change the attitude of the Karamoja to formal schooling, and education could prove to be the vital resource for the survival of the Karamoja.
In the long run, as a region, through these interventions, of the education programs and other supporting programs that are being put. I look at a population that is going to lead a better life than the current population, and I see that eventually even the issue of pastoralism will have to transform itself.
In the next decade, I think education in Karamoja will have penetrated and captured about 60% of the community. In the next decade, I am sure, I hope and surely hope that there will be total disarmed society in Karamoja. And with a disarmed society, we shall have a settled society which will be pro-development.
The unearthing of the pen has opened the Karamojong to education, and its value is now being appreciated across the community.
Henry Mamma Nereka, you connect Tala, Nana Tamari, who I told it, a Tinaka Malu.